In this tutorial I'm going to talk about color dominance, and I'll also quickly go over some of the shaping that we used to create this hat. The pattern in this hat is created by alternating your stitches in two different colors. You are also increasing and decreasing as you go to create these wonderful shapes here. And what I actually quite like about this hat, when you fold it in half, it almost looks like a nautilus shell. Here you can really see how the stitches create the pattern for the hat. Now I have two hats over here that are just slightly different, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about the color dominance. The first hat here, the dominant color is the pink, and you'll see the background has this mottled yellow color. Now, and in this one here, I'm starting a second one where you can see more of the mottled yellow color and a bit less of the pink. To make one color dominant, in this case the yellow is the dominant color, you're actually, when you're knitting this one, you're carrying the yarn from below as you're knitting it, and the non-dominant color is carried above. So again, the dominant color is carried below, the non-dominant color is carried above. And as you do this, it creates a different length in the stitches themselves, which forces one color to be more dominant in the front. Now if I flip it to the inside, actually what happens is you'll see the pink is more dominant on the inside and the yellow is more dominant on the outside. On this hat, where the pink is dominant on the outside, the yellow is more prevalent on the inside. The increases and decreases that we use in this hat are actually the same as the ones that we use for bramble. So you may have seen these in another one of our tutorials. The first one I'm going to show you here is when you knit into the left part of the loop. So I'm going to knit my main color that I'm going to be, the pink color that I'll be increasing into with the pink yarn. And then I'm going to pick up the loop 2 rows below, and now I want it to coordinate with these colors, so I'm going to knit it with the pink color because the following color to the yellow will be the pink. So again, the pink, and then I make sure that I keep it straight with my stripes. So this is going to be pink on top, and the yellow is the dominant, so that one has to be knit from underneath all the time. So I go across to my next increase. Now, so the increasing, I should say, is what creates this outward pattern here, where it flares out on each side. Let me continue on here, pink on top, yellow under, and as I come to my next increase, this one is knitting into the right loop. So here's my yellow, and the increases in this case are all done into the non-dominant color, which for this particular hat is the pink. So I pick up just that purl loop, and I can actually do it from there. Place that on my needle, and I'm going to be knitting that in pink because I'm following with this sequence. Pink on top, and then I'm going back to this striping here, so I'm knit the regular stitch again with pink, and continue on. And the decrease is actually worked into the main color, the dominant color, which is the yellow one. And basically for this one, it's just going to be slip, slip, and then knit, oops, the yellow's under, knit my background, and then knit 2 together is the other decrease. So we've got over here, we've got an increase, and 2 decreases right next to each other. And that's what creates this wonderful patterning that you see on this design. For this hat design, we incorporate a central double decrease. There's a few different ways of doing it, but what I've done for this particular one is have it so that the center stitch lies nicely in front of the 2 that are being decreased on either side. Now to do that, what you want to do is drop the first 2 of the 3, pick the first one up knitwise with your left needle, pick the second one up purlwise with your right needle, and slide that back onto the left needle, and then knit 3 together through the back of the loop with your main color. And this way you end up with a central double decrease where that center stitch lies nicely over the top. Another thing I like about this hat, as you work these increases and decreases, is it changes the shape of the brim. So you end up with these sort of built-in ear flaps. I can show you on this other model here, where you can really see it quite clearly. So it's nice. So this part here just covers your ears, so it keeps you nice and toasty. So it's just interesting how the increasing and decreasing can affect much more than just what goes on up here. It can affect the whole shape of an item. So do keep in mind as you work your next ferrule project how color dominance can affect your end result. The dominant color, you always want to make sure you're wrapping it from underneath.